This is how my mom answers every FaceTime.
Aww.
You can hear me, right?
That sounds like my mom. My mom does it too.
You're okay? Christine, I can't see your face. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Hi.
I think that's all moms. All moms do that, dude.
Yeah, they do. It's fucking annoying.
It's endearing. What are you talking about? That's how we're gonna be.
But like you show,
when we have kids, who knows what it is? It's gonna be like teleportation or something, and then we're gonna be like, "Am I here? Am I in the living room?"
Christine, I agree with you. I do, but there's got to be a level of competency where you know how to turn on a computer, you know how to answer an email, you know how to do the basic functions of what a computer and the internet entails and stuff like that, right? One might assume that those are just skills that you already know and you should know and you just adapt. My mom is still yet to understand half of the ramifications that technology has to offer. So it's honestly absurd. It's ridiculous. But
yeah.
I am patient.
I have the opposite problem. My dad tells me about the latest apps I should be downloading.
See, my dad, same thing. My dad's the same way. He's very much just like, yeah, you know, that's this is how you do it with the iOS, and you update and you get this bug fix, and it's just like, what the fuck? He's just in it.
Yeah. My mom's the same way. Teaching her how to click a mouse was like a whole thing. Just double click, and she was like, click. I'm
what?
like, no, it has to be faster than that.
Oh, Christine, where did you go? Yeah. So ridiculous. Anyways, we can talk about dumb family members all day.
Oh, no.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of GET REELISMS PODCAST. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I am Adam Chase Rennie.
And I am Christine Chen.
Look at that. Facebook.
It's us.
That's us. That's how it is, y'all. That's just, we are in that Erzulie life. Erzulie life.
Erzulie.
See, that was my first fuck up. It's not my fault. It's the COVID.
I know. Sad.
I'm all sorts of fucked up. Shut up, Lewis. Get out of my fucking Instagram feed. Jesus Christ. Anyways, thank you guys for joining our podcast. We appreciate you. Yeah, this is season 3. This is honestly I was looking forward to this. I thought we were going to do it last week, but this is now the official. I'm sorry, Christine. I got to take this background off. It's bothering me so much.
Yeah,
and
please.
I can't focus because I'm looking at Instagram and I'm looking at Facebook and I'm just like, I'm all sorts of fucked up. I can't do this right now. So there you go. Get realisms.
Ta-da.
Thank you guys so much for joining in. I appreciate you. Christine, this is season 3. How you feeling? We're full steam ahead with well, actually I should say you're full steam ahead on this I'm excited
for Erzulie. Yeah. I'm in the process right now of just talking to crew people that I have had in mind. I have like a dream list, like a wish list. Now, whether or not they want to work with me is questionable. But I've just been talking to like potential DPs and already starting the tale making process, which is cool. Working with a company in Austin actually called Hogfly Productions. Shout out to Meredith. Our actress Layla Anastasia Scott for Erzulie. She got fitted on Tuesday, which is really exciting. She sent me all these pictures and video and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I wish it was there, but I'm on the set instead. I can't. It's been just really fun talking it through with essentially my friends. Because it's Roxy, it's Kelly, it's Camille, it's it's all these badass ladies that, I've worked with throughout the years on projects.
I work
But
with them too.
I know. And it's cool because,
Leaving me out of this and shit. I'm
yeah.
offended.
And I think it's different because it's like whoopsies, on most projects,
Almost spit out my drink.
people won't do it until, they've got their prep days and they are signed their deal memos and they're getting paid to do whatever. For us, I'm able to keep working now because my friends and I are literally working and creating this project together. So it's not like we're doing it only for the money. Does that make sense? Because we're not going to.
No. Yeah. No. It makes sense.
Yeah. So it's nice because we're just kind of like daydreaming every day about, and I've got a Pinterest board and I'm pinning like what cinematography I want it to look like. We're pinning like wardrobe ideas, makeup ideas, all that type of stuff, and it's exciting. It's so exciting that I've had trouble sleeping. My brain is like it's just hyper stimulated right now. So it's just very excited and just creating constantly. So
are you like in the midst of doing like rewrites of the script as you're going along with pre-production? Like,
of
are
course.
you just sort of like rewriting it in your head and then seeing
No. We're at a good place where things aren't going to just, I knock on wood. Things aren't going to just drastically when it comes to at least the structure of the film, which is great because we are already doing breakdowns, and as you know, an AD and department's worst nightmare is for the script to change a million times, because then you're forced to redo your breakdown a million times because the scene numbers change all the time. We've locked our script, is what I'm saying.
Nice.
So now any other change is reflected in it. It's going to be more dialogue tweaks than anything, and we're going to be finding those out as we do a lot of these table reads type thing.
Right.
Like tonight, tonight I have a table read, for example, which we're doing some of the ensemble scenes. Mm-hmm. And we're taking the ensemble scenes and kind of just working through and seeing how the pacing's going, whether certain dialogue it works, or because things will read differently in your head, and then you have somebody spit it out and it's like, wow, that doesn't sound normal whatsoever, or it just doesn't flow. Or so we're going to continue to tweak that, because the more we can do now, the less of a problem it's going to be later in production. And we were just trying to keep it tight because it is ULB, project. So when I say ULB, ultra low budget project, and it's going to just take time. It will cost money making those changes if we choose to shoot something instead of cut it. It's best if we try to cut what we can and shoot just the bare minimum that will enable us to tell the best story. So so that's what we're doing right now. It's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of like listening, and we have our full cast, as you might have known. So and it's going through, and we'll start doing the paperwork and whatnot, and then just start having rehearsals and answering character questions and just dialogue questions and stuff, and tweaking it. And I just handed off a paper script to my storyboard artist today, actually. Oh, wow. Yeah, so I'm very excited. So on my day off, my next day off, which will be next week, I will be working with him on just storyboarding the script. So I already have my shot lists all done and stuff, and I have locations, pictures, so together we'll just try to translate what's in my brain. He's incredible.
Get it visually.
Yeah, he's so cool. He's the guy who storyboarded in Root, actually. He did it as a favor.
The concept we shot?
Yeah, he storyboarded that one. And I'm big on returning favors, and he did me a solid by doing that for no money, basically. And so he was the only person I wanted to reach out to.
What's his name again?
Do this. Chad Glass. Chad Glass. He's
shout out to Chad Glass.
Shout out to Chad Glass. Yeah, Chad Glass. He's
great. Storyboard artist.
Great storyboard artist. Yeah.
So and the most important part of any production, the pre.
The pre, yes, lots of pre. It's been heavy pre. It's been a lot of back and forth. We have art has been basically rummaging through their houses or their kits and trying to find everything that's on the list and hoping that we have covered most of it, and that way we can actually put together a better estimate budget-wise for what we actually have to buy. So luckily, I mean, the script has props that are very easy. They're like normal stuff. It's not a lot of things that we have to replicate and create and stuff. So something that's cool. Actually, I wonder if I should say it, because I feel like it would like ruin. No.
Don't say it if you don't want to.
No, I mean, I'm excited.
Okay.
Because people might find it interesting, but the mermaid scales. It's been this debate about like, go ahead.
You posted something about it on Instagram, right? Am I wrong?
No. I posted about.
I was gonna say, because I was gonna drop a hint and say fitting, but you remember, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh no, I know
the fitting.
Yes, we have done the fitting. And there are sneaks of that on our Instagram, Erzulie Film, and but we're not going to reveal what the mermaid will look like in its entirety.
Right. Okay.
But what I was talking about is in the script, there's a part where the characters have these dried mermaid scales, and it's been this debate between the art department as to like what that is going to be made out of or what it's supposed to look like. And my production designer discovered that gar scales are really cool. Have you gar, like the that fish, the gar fish? It's really ugly.
Oh, yeah.
So their scales are like really gnarly looking. So if you go to Google gar scales, that's what we're using as our base. And then now we're just trying to figure out like what kind of treatment to give them so they're not like bright white. DP's worst nightmare. So
yeah.
So
that's funny. DP's worst nightmare. So you were mentioning storyboards, and I was gonna ask you something, and I had it in my head, and it was gonna be like, oh, that would be interesting to ask, and I can't remember now. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I haven't been getting a lot of sleep, so
it's okay.
I'm just operating on autopilot mode. So I do apologize.
Is on our Instagram right now, so she's been awesome, Candace
yes,
Farley.
Awesome.
She has been on the casting process. It's been fun because like we'll do the casting, and while we're casting, we're exchanging texts, being like, this person, or like this isn't working, or like let's try this, or so. So we're going back and forth, rapid fire with each talent, and it's been amazing to see the different talent that's been available to us to read through everything. So so we've done that, and she's been giving us great notes on like the script, and yes, we have an amazing cast, says Candace. We do have an amazing cast. I'm very, very excited about it, and I'm very excited about seeing them read tonight, and how they're all going to come together and feed off of each other, because the perfect cast will add to your script. You have something in your head, but but what
they add value to it.
Oh yeah, they add a power, an energy that you just can't.
That's way better saying.
Energy. Guys, energy. It's and their energies affect each other. So
and with effective editing, you're getting a pace, like you're getting an energetic pace with it. It's fun. Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm really hoping that this read will pretty much like seal the deal and convince or make our investors or future investors confident as we are in the project itself. So.
And that's a pretty steep uphill battle, especially in terms of just getting your
It's a
dream project off
hard
the ground.
Raising money is difficult.
Yeah, I bet.
But they always say
really
that
hard.
They always say it's their first one, and I don't doubt it. I mean, it's like I think about it to the first project I ever had to cast on, and how or just crew on, and how that was hard because everybody's always not sure about somebody who this is their first project or doesn't have a track record, right? But then after the first one, if you do a good job, then people
notice.
are and they're fast to jump in and stuff like that. So I get it. It's the first one that's going to be difficult. So it's been a learning process. And I'm just trying to navigate it and hope that I come out on top. Yeah.
And I know you will. I mean, the project is so fucking cool, you guys. I know we can't speak fucking a peep about it, but it is just it's a really rad story. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm very excited, and I can't believe I'm working on this too, even though I'm just gonna be I wouldn't say a minimal part of the set, but a part of the set.
Everybody is going to be an essential part of the set. There's no one person who is not.
I'm more excited to do this live podcast, and I think it's safe to say we're gonna basically talk about it. And I did talk about it a couple episodes ago, in the foreseeable future, that we were gonna have a podcast where it's gonna be all of us together and stuff like that. And we're gonna have old friends, ladies and gentlemen.
Come talk and all that stuff. Yes. Somebody just mentioned on Instagram that it's an uphill battle to deal with funding, and it is. Yeah, it is definitely an uphill battle, that's for sure. And I apologize for the noise. My friend just got home, so he's talking, but it's all good because that's sharing is caring, sharing an environment. Yes, but what were you gonna say?
I was just waiting for you to stop talking so I could, because you I mean, like, I wasn't going to say you interrupted me, but I just I just took a step back, let you say your thing. So I'm just making sure we're all good. It's all right. Shout out to Candace. It's so good. I predict it will be a new cult hit. I think so too. Candace, so you're echoing basically what I was about to say, and that is, it's an amazing story. It looks just so much fun, just the story itself. So I'm very excited for people to watch it. I'm very happy that I'm part of the set, and I'm even more happy doing a live podcast with old friends of ours of the Get Realisms podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have old faces. I can't spoil any names. It's going to be a surprise, and it's going to be fun. We're going to have old friends, new friends possibly jumping in. We're going to work out the details pretty soon. But yeah, we're going to have a face-to-face podcast. I miss Christine, so I just I'm so excited to get my happy ass to Louisiana and shoot that shit with you guys. So yeah, were you did you have any time to yourself
recently? Not really.
In this whole pre-production?
No, I mean, if I'm with myself, it's with myself in the story, basically. I'm basically at any available time that I have right now is devoted to.
So yeah, you're living, eating, and breathing.
Yeah, I'm living, eating, and breathing the story.
Which is understandable, because I'd assume you just can't stop thinking about it,
Yeah, I can't. I dream about it. I think about it. I watch what I'm watching is based off of it too. So it's just, I just watched The Craft actually with Kelly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Because that's kind of like what
such a good movie
to research. Yeah, so
the chick,
perfect.
Yeah.
So
I just saw the sequel too, by the way.
There's a sequel?
Yeah, it's on Hulu.
Oh.
It's actually it's not that bad. I saw the original.
Okay.
And I loved it. I thought it's just wacky and fun, and
It's wacky.
It's just it's tons of fun. It feels like I don't know if you've seen like the horror movie Evil Dead, but it's sort of like in the same vein, less intense, way less intense. But the craft is sort of like tongue in cheek, sort of like silly.
See, I don't treat The Craft as a horror film at all.
Well, it's a thriller. It's
category.
It's genre as thriller.
Yeah, it's a genre thriller.
Everybody. I am so sorry. There's so much noise coming out of my fucking house. I gotta address this issue and see what's going on. I'll be right back. But Christine, I'm gonna ask you this question, and you'll be able to take off with this. So for Erzulie, last time we were talking, you mentioned and you just mentioned more inspirations. Have you watched any movies or read anything?
Yeah, so The Craft
inspired.
Yeah,
so Craft was you did The Craft and anything else?
On my list is Pan's Labyrinth. I still haven't. I'll probably watch that tonight or something. Pan's Labyrinth is a possibility. The other one, like I said, was Drive. I really want to do something that has the neo-noir vibe. We'll be working a lot with like what we call Titan tubes that give that neon and hint of color type deal. So there's that. I think the struggle we're trying to figure out how to get around right now, at the brief conversation I had with my potential DP, is how do we light a space at night with minimal resources? Because there are a few quintessential scenes that are at night. It's a horror film, right? So
that's
so the woods is going to be a whole thing. Luckily, the pool, there's like a contained space and you're around a pool. But the woods is going to be difficult. Yeah. So I was looking up condors today to see how much those are to rent. So it's been a whole process, just figuring out like what are the resources that we have and how much this is all going to. Like I have a rough budget, but until you start putting real things to it, it's just a hypothetical budget.
It's all hypothetical, yeah.
Yeah. So
that must be infuriating too, because everything's just sort of up and down. And in the art of compromise, I'm sure you've endured, many times where even creatively, in the past and now, like you've been like locked into an idea, and it just can't be practical. You know what I'm saying?
So it's been the good thing is because I wrote it with Camille. If we need to make those changes to make it more doable, we can. And I'm not a director that's married to anything because I'm a director producer. So I feel like director producers are practical, right? We understand our limitations based off of our resources. And because we're creative, we can creatively work through our problems because we don't have the luxury of throwing money at our problems. And honestly, it feels like those solutions are better anyway, and oftentimes
100%.
adds to the film. Yeah. And so we'll see. Maybe it's the lighting the outdoors is the hardest part. Like indoors in a controlled house, like that, not as difficult because you can justify practicals, you can shoot things through a window. It's easier to hide lights and stuff. The problem with outdoors is like if you're doing a big ass wide, like where are you gonna hide the lights, right? And that's why big sets have these big ass like soft boxes that are like, I don't know, my entire budget, so
Jesus.
Yeah. It's to kind of sidetrack.
Sure.
Like I said, I'm on
Oh,
a
can I actually address one thing
yeah.
about because you mentioned working with a low budget.
Yep.
Do you feel like the low budget experience that you've had rooting from documentary filmmaking, do you feel like that sort of like basically like opened your eyes in a way to more possibilities, especially with like what little you can use and what you have just around you, you know, because it's not like this script. I mean, well, I don't know if I should say, because it's not like this script takes place in many places. Can I say
Right.
that?
Yeah, you can say
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So it's practical in that sense. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like it's
Yes.
just it's one general area.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
then you know, you
Well, that's
kind of
what my
shoot
DP is
amongst
saying.
that.
That like, yes, maybe this might be a lower budget, but by default, because of how it's written, I'm getting more. I actually have a bigger budget because I'm not having to spend money on things that most sets would have to. You know,
No,
like
because you're sort of like relying on the creative side of like
yeah,
the writing aspect of it all with your main story and your B story splitting off
yeah,
from that, you know. And
yeah,
then it's just as compelling with the main story and it links all together, you know, in the third act and stuff like that. Yeah. Everything it works out. And that's the thing. It's like I watched a documentary uh on Todd Phillips. You know Todd Phillips. He's a filmmaker. He made Joker. He wrote and
oh, okay,
directed
yeah,
Joker.
yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was a documentary filmmaker in the beginning, and he made this documentary. It's called Gigi Allen, and it's about this punk artist, you know, that just goes on giant fucking rampages. It's a crazy documentary, but how they shot it was he barely he barely had like shots. He just only had like long form, like long shots, but only like a couple, like
Mm-hmm.
only a few. And Todd was like, I already see it. So when I go to the event, when I go to the show, or if I'm interviewing Gigi,
Yeah,
I know exactly where I'm gonna cut, how I'm gonna cut, what question I want to ask, and
yeah,
see which direction I'm going in. And then if the weather permits, I'm gonna shoot because it's raining tomorrow. I want to get all my shots done today, and then tomorrow I do the indoor stuff. And it's just like he has this all planned in his head as a producer and as a director,
yes,
and
and,
it's shot like eloquently. And the reason
yeah,
why I know this is because he was on a podcast talking about it, and it got me thinking about that documentary again. So I look back on it and I'm like, holy shit, that guy had the edit already in his head
yes,
as he was shooting the documentary. And
mm-hmm.
I never thought that could really like, I thought about that and I'm like, no, I don't think documentarians can think that far ahead. I feel like that's impossible. And it's like, not really. They they do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very valuable thing that you can learn to just get the story that you want in an adaptive ability that is your environment, you know,
Yeah,
and you just sort of like carry on with it. So I just thought it's neat that you're sort of kind of doing that in the same vein, not saying that
yeah, totally. And I think
this
that's
is your
the
Joker,
beauty.
but yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of being a director that edits. I literally like when I'm shot listing and stuff.
Well, just having it in your head in general, you know what I
Yes, it's in
mean?
my
Just like,
head,
yeah.
and I know where I'm going to have my edit points, and I know how I'm going to intro into certain scenes, how I'm going to transition between stuff,
Mhm.
and I think the beauty is if and we definitely will because it's a film production. And all film productions have problems. We run into any logistical problems. I literally can fix them by writing right on the fly because Camille and I both wrote it. We're both going to be on set, so it's not going to be like it's going to be annoying, obviously, but like we can do it. Versus like if this was someone else's script, that we are squeezing into a square into a circle or whatever you want to call it. We're
Oh, a
just
square
trying to
peg in a round hole.
into a round. Yeah, you when things deviate from the plan, it's a lot hard to work around it, right? Because
Absolutely, yeah.
there's a very distinct storyline, and it's somebody else's story, and I don't know how much leeway people have when you're using someone else's story, right? Like I don't know how
Absolutely.
much you can actually alter it.
Right.
So it's really interesting. But for us,
But
like if it
alter it
rains,
enough where you're not
yeah,
compromising the story.
compromise the story. Yeah. So like for us, like we can alter it however the f we want to,
Right.
because it's our story. And so like
Yeah.
if it rains or whatever, fuck it. We'll write it for the rain.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's just fascinating because I know this was a guilty pleasure when I was growing up. I don't do it anymore because it feels weird.
Yeah.
But growing up, I used to look at the behind the scenes featurettes like in
Dude,
DVDs.
I love watching behind the scenes. Sometimes
You
I enjoy,
do?
yeah, sometimes I enjoy watching behind the scenes more than I do the actual movie.
The documentary behind it. Oh, that's hilarious.
I
Yeah.
love watching behind the scenes stuff.
I don't know why I don't do that more now. I mean,
Yeah.
well, except for one, I did it for The Mandalorian. I saw the
Mhm.
behind the scenes on how they made the show Mandalorian, and that was just
Yeah.
fucking amazing. Anyways,
Yeah.
growing up, I always because I mean, back in the for all you millennial kids, back in the Blockbuster days, heyo.
Hey, I remember those days.
I used to rent movies all the time and pay those late fees and feel so worth it because I needed to watch the behind the scenes, and it's like every single movie from like Clerks to like Chris Nolan's first feature Memento, yeah, all sorts of movies, Tarantino, some of them. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like learning all this stuff, it's so fascinating where people are just like, yeah, well, this director, this well-known director wants this giant fucking expensive ass fucking thing, and the studio's like, all right, and just that feeling of just like having something so fucking ridiculous greenlit.
Yeah.
Must be like the most, I don't know, like it must be like that. It must be a weird feeling because you think like, some of these ideas are so far fetched, you don't know where they're gonna fucking go.
Yeah.
Who knows where they're gonna fucking go? But it seems like the more practical the ideas, the less, I guess, frustration it is, and especially
Mhm.
in the art of compromise, because it'll probably be easier to pivot considering how, the story is laid out, how that scene is laid out, I should say.
Yeah.
So yeah, even the stunts in the script are crazy too. In your script, I mean.
Yeah. And I wrote it because I knew that we had access to a stunts guy, and the stunts guy is
Really?
yeah, and he's one of the characters actually. So
Oh,
I
really?
wrote the most complicated moves or things um for basically for him, because I knew that he would
Okay.
be able to do it and not be afraid to do it. He
Right.
specializes in water stunts. So yeah, so I'm very excited about that. So yeah, so we have a stunts guy and he's on the property. It's gonna be great. Yeah, no, it's I wrote it with what we had.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And so uh it's for maybe somebody else, it would have been difficult to accomplish
Mm-hmm.
this film, but because of who I know and what I've collected throughout the years being an AD and filmmaker,
Yeah.
I'm able to do certain things that might have cost a lot of money, to do. So
Right. And you already had that in your
connection,
head
yeah,
already. Like you already kind of worked it all out, knowing how, however small the budget was going to be, you can fit it within a certain kind of range,
yes, I'm queen of. I mean, I'm queen of stretching the dollar.
Yeah, no, I know, which is why I'm fucking nervous for you to read my script, because it feels a little little
Ambitious.
ambitious, a
Okay. Should be
little
interesting.
ambitious.
I'll read it and just be like, what? How are you gonna make this?
I
But
can though. That's the thing. It's in my head. I know it can be done.
okay.
And by the way, I'm not. This isn't like a fucking Fast and Furious movie where I'm having like car chase sequences and shit like that. None of
Uh-huh.
that. It's none of that. But are there fight sequences? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, there are.
Okay.
Um, you know, sort of like reminiscent of old kung fu karate movies that I loved growing up.
Oh.
So it's a lot of that. It's a lot of actiony kind of things like that. So I definitely want probably a martial arts instructor with this
Yeah.
project, because fuck do I know about martial arts except for Bruce Lee and
Do
Jet
you
Li and Jackie
have
Chan.
you thought about whether or not you are somebody who writes to write or somebody who writes to direct?
That's a good question. Somebody who writes to write or writes to direct.
Because I'm a writes to direct. Like I won't write something and just like, oh, here you can have it.
Because I guess I'm confused by that question. When you say write to direct, are you saying like you
I
already
write
have
things.
the thing in my head already and I have it sort of like edited where
No. When I say write to direct, I'm thinking I'm writing this for the pure purpose that I will direct it. Versus I'm writing
I
this
see.
because I'm interested in the story, but like if somebody else directs it, it's fine.
I'm in the beginning, I wrote it to just write it. You know what I'm saying? But as I'm writing the story, I'm falling in love more and more with it.
Okay.
Especially with the story.
Okay.
So I did think about that. I did think about like, well, I mean, what the fuck do I know about directing? Like, I might as well give it to somebody who knows how to direct, has experience directing, because why would I give it to myself? But if that's going to be the case, yeah, I don't know. I just think that this script is just best.
Because you know it best.
Because I don't, because it sounds over presumptuous if I say like, well, I want to direct it, because it feels like, well, you haven't directed shit. You directed backyard jackass videos in fucking boonies of the Bay Area, So what the fuck do you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely want
There's
to try
nothing
it.
wrong with
I
like
definitely
everybody's
want to
just
try it though.
okay. Yeah.
I want to see where I can go with it, and if I don't, I don't. And I know that I have that ability to write,
Yeah.
at least write a story,
Yeah.
So even if it's a shitty story, I can write a story nonetheless. And I know I can engage and perfect it more too.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying that what I'm writing is going to be like, we're going to be ready to shoot this bitch soon. Not at all. I am eons away from that. And I know that whoever I give it to, the trusted people that I want to give it to, who I know will give me strong notes that I need, I know I'll get that,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll rewrite within,
Yeah.
So I guess to answer your question, I feel like I should, I feel like I'm writing to direct it.
Okay.
Even though I came in with the intention of writing to just write.
Just to write.
That was my first
enough.
intention. It was my first intention. Now I'm growing more attached to the script.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like someone you just like you hook up with and you just accidentally fall in love with, and you're just like, oh,
nice.
I don't know why I'm getting myself into this, but I want to see where it goes.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, that's so bad for me to say. I don't know. Fuck, guys, I'm loopy. What can I say? God. Migraine just in and out. Anyways, yeah, dude. I don't know. Like I'm very excited for the story that I'm writing and the story that I want to tell and stuff. But if it's not ready for me to direct, then I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, just plain and simple. If it's not ready, it's not ready. And if I do got a story and it's good, I just got to tweak it a little more. I'll do that. You know, I'll do whatever it'll take, but I don't want the story to then go into the hands of somebody else who doesn't see what I see.
Okay, that's fair enough.
And that to me, because I guess I have attachment issues according to my therapist.
Separation anxiety.
I have very much separation anxiety. So if I do something, I need to make sure it's going to be a good story because I have it, it's there. It's just sometimes hard for me to convey it. And then also I'm doing a visual storyboard for this too. Now, that being said, is this going to be the most professional storyboard you're ever going to see? Not at all.
How are you approaching the visual storyboard?
So I have an iPad Pro and I have Procreate, and there's a template in Procreate where I can manipulate comic book images. So I've been taking screenshots of listen guys, I have to do what I have to do. Okay. Leave me alone. Don't give me a comment on Instagram or Facebook telling me that you fucking bullshit, you didn't freehand draw it. Listen, I don't know how to draw. I wanted to work at Pixar. Guess where that turned out? Nowhere. Okay. It just fucking didn't work out for me. I thought I could draw. I couldn't. I was heartbroken. So anyways, this is my way of flexing my muscle of just visually representing what my story is trying to tell. Okay.
Yeah.
So I take screenshots of these comic books and I just basically draw over it. And I take a couple of layers. It's sort of like Photoshop in a way. I think you'd be interested in it. It's pretty neat. You draw over it and you can have a pretty nice traced comic book thing. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes I'll see over an image and I'll just draw right over it. So like sometimes I'll have the wardrobe in my head that I kind of think that I want, and then I just sketch it on. And if I sketch it on, it doesn't work out, I scratch it, go on to the next one.
That's neat. I want to see your storyboard sometime.
It's fucking wacky. It looks like a journal straight from Joker's mind. It's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pace it in a way that doesn't interfere, because the other part of it too is the soundtrack is the most important part for me in a movie.
Okay.
So I can talk about this. I'm very comfortable talking about it because it's an inevitable thing. I want to use already recorded songs, but from independent artists, from bands, from like underground bands that I grew up listening to, indie bands that I, fell in love and admired. Now, that being said, am I guaranteed that this music is going to work out in the grand scheme of things for the script? Not at all. That's why I have backups within my backups within my backups within my backups. Mm-hmm. Now, if those don't work, then I need to approach the movie in a different way. If that doesn't work out. So, long story short, do I know this is all going to work out? Absolutely not. I don't. But am I excited to write it? Am I excited to talk about it? Am I excited for the songs that I have in my head for it to string together nicely as like sort of a narration to the story? Yeah, I think I think this can work,
Yeah. Cool.
But what the fuck do I know?
Hey, I don't think anybody ever knows. You just kind of figure it out, right, as you go. That's what I'm doing. I don't know if I specifically know what I'm doing at all. I know the knowledge I've collected,
which is crazy because it seems like you're the smartest person.
Yeah, but
I know
until you've done it, though, like you really know, right? You can have ideas and theoretically think that you know what you're doing, but until you're in it, right?
That's
when
true.
You're in it, deep in it, that's when you're like, oh,
that's really where it's tested. Like your skill is tested. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So
that's interesting.
So like in theory, it seems to make sense, but the things I'm preparing or whatever, that it's going to work out properly. But until I'm deep in it, well, I know for sure, right? So I don't know. I'm excited about it. I'm trying to stay positive and
with
just
Erzulie, you mean? Yeah.
Erzulie.
Oh my God.
I feel like this is the most prepared I've ever been.
I am so
going to a
stoked
project
for this set. I'm gonna be that dumb fucking cheerleader on that set. Just be like, let's go, guys. And then you guys want to fucking throw me into the river. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be fun.
I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be exciting. I think the characters are fun. I think it's gonna be a fun set. Like I am so excited about the freaking mermaid. I'm excited about just like I have so many cool shots that I've planned out. I'm excited about how we're gonna light the woods. I'm just excited. Every day I wake up and I'm excited about this project. And when this is all you can think about, I don't think it could go
day and night
terribly wrong.
No.
Yeah.
Because you're living, eating, and breathing this Erzulie life.
Yes.
You I mean, I won't be surprised the next episode you turn into a mermaid. It's just like, well, fuck.
That's funny.
I guess we're gonna have to figure out how to record a podcast underwater.
I overheard one of the grips on. I'm gonna have to pick his brain when I get back to work tomorrow. But he's like certified in underwater gripping, and I was like, oh shit!
Whoa, yeah, that's cool.
I didn't think that was a thing, but it makes sense, I guess. If you gotta like put equipment down there, you gotta be able to hold your breath.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, grip is like you just set up some sort of manipulation of lights, I guess.
No. That's the light part is electrics.
Electric, right?
The grip part is the building the structures that hold the lights.
The structures, right? Yeah. That's where I was getting.
Yeah.
I just told it an ass backwards way.
Good.
Like I always do, because I'm an idiot. Anyways, I think that's awesome. I think underwater grip that's a neat thing, especially in regards to the script. Not without getting into details and stuff. But
so I'm gonna go see like how that's gonna.
Yeah.
If I need one of those. I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna do some of the underwater. There's definitely some underwater scenes. I've never done that. I've done like underwater things with like a GoPro.
Right.
and me with the DSLR camera and the underwater casing, but like actually going and doing shots that are, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to turn out or what to expect or, I don't know. I'm excited though.
I mean, I think you have a rough idea. I think that's fair to say, but you know, it's just the execution of it all. Yeah, I get it. And yeah. I have COVID, you guys. What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck do you need from me? We gotta take this plane for a little.
Let's do it. Let's land it.
Okay. Because I gotta take a nap now. I gotta decommission. I am so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I tried my best with this podcast. I feel like this was okay, right? Was this an okay episode?
Yeah.
Is everybody having fun? The two people in the Instagram feed?
There were a few that dropped in and out.
So I'm just so I don't know why I'm so like this. I don't know.
You have COVID, dude.
I know.
I heard that like it takes just the simple fact of existing makes it is difficult.
Yeah, all I want to do is joke about it, but it feels so hacky and so gross for me to do that. You know,
just stay safe and
I'm just trying to stay safe. Yeah.
Yeah, and don't. I mean, I'm like impressed that we're even having this podcast. Yeah. After this, just go take a nap.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna take a CBD nap.
Yeah, that sounds lovely.
I think I'm gonna do that. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you, Instagram, and I appreciate you, Facebook. Ladies and gentlemen, get on that getrealisms.com today. Get that book today.
Yes, and follow Erzulie.
Follow Erzulie.
We're on Instagram now too, and Facebook. Erzulie Film, ERZULIFILM. FILM.com, Erzulie Film. And you'll get to see like little bits and sneak peeks of the process. So,
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. I'm so excited for you guys to join on the journey.
I am more than excited, Christine. You don't know how, because I've been planning this live podcast for a minute now. Like, I'm planning it all. I don't know, and that's why I do want to ask you a couple of questions about where in particular the location we're going to do this live podcast. But in any way, shape, or form, I'm going to try to do an audio and a video thing. So I'll have my recording equipment, my video equipment, and we're gonna get this motherfucker shot. That is if anyone is letting me bum a ride from them to Louisiana and
you can
haul all of this fucking film equipment and my luggage and shit. Not like I'm having bags of luggage. It's just a duffel bag. Look like I'm a fucking Vietnam War vet.
Oh, you can ride with us. You know that. So we'll all hitch a ride over there, and
I fit in most trunks. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, Instagram. Thank you so much, Facebook. Go on getrealisms.com, pick up a book, get your digital copy. We're gonna be back next week. Do I know it's gonna be Friday? No, but it's gonna be
it might be Friday. I'm off next week, Thursday and Friday. So Friday,
which is gonna be the 5th of March. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I have no clue.
It is. Yeah. This if it yeah, look at that. See, guys, I am sharp, okay? For a COVID boy like me. Call me Addy COVIDs. Anyways, next week's going to be the 5th of March. We're probably going to have the podcast then, if not, probably the weekend. You guys will know we're going to be popping up here and there, and pretty soon, we're going to take this bad boy out on the road. Thank you guys, Instagram. Thank you guys, Facebook. We appreciate you. We are going out now. Goodbye. And good luck.